Why don't people play Angry Birds anymore? Angry Birds, one of the most iconic franchises ever created. But, currently, it isn't as popular as it was. But why? Well, in this video, we're going to see why the franchise has fallen. Rovio Entertainment, founded in 2003 by 3 Finnish university students. They made many games, but the games didn't quite work. So, as a last resort, they made Angry Birds in 2009. Angry Birds was a game where you slingshot birds into buildings that have pigs in them. Even though the game is created by Rovio, the idea isn't. The original idea comes from Crush the Castle. After the release of Angry Birds, it became the #1 game in Play Store and App Store. Rovio made so much money with it, so they made more games and started doing merchandise. 1 year after the first Angry Birds game, Rovio made Angry Birds Seasons. It's just the same thing but with new birds. 1 year later, a movie about some blue birds was released, called Rio, and Rovio made Angry Birds Rio. Rovio started releasing games left and right. They released Angry Birds Friends, Angry Birds Seasons, and Angry Birds Star Wars all in 2012. Also, they released their first ever game-changing Angry Birds game, Bad Piggies. In this game, you have to make a machine for a pig to get to the finish line. In 2013, they released Angry Birds Star Wars 2, and their second game-changing game, Angry Birds Go. It's basically a racing game, but with the Angry Birds theme. They also produced toys and made millions. I also have one of the toys, the pig car. In 2014, they released their third ever game-changing game, Angry Birds Epic. It is an RPG game but with the Angry Birds theme. There were also other game-changing games such as Angry Birds Transformers, released in 2014, and Angry Birds Fight, released in 2015. Then, the second Angry Birds game was released, Angry Birds 2 in 2015. It's just the same thing but with different birds. At the end of the year, Rovio profits were down. Actually, they tried doing new stuff, however, they were far from succeeding. And this is where the franchise starts to fall. In 2016, the first Angry Birds movie was released, and its rating was 6.3. About the games, these were the ones that were released: Angry Birds Action and Angry Birds Blast in 2016, Angry Birds Evolution and Match in 2017. 2018 is mostly blank, except for Angry Birds Champions. In 2019, Rovio released the second Angry Birds movie, and its rating was 6.4. But there was another thing that made the Angry Birds community very sad. All Angry Birds games from 2009 to 2015 were deleted, except for Angry Birds 2, Angry Birds Transformers, Angry Birds Friends, and Bad Piggies. They said that it was because they had old game engines, but still, the community didn't like it and wanted them back, but Rovio didn't care. Then they started releasing Angry Birds Dream Blast, Angry Birds Isle of Pigs, and Angry Birds Under Pressure in 2019, Angry Birds Reloaded, and Angry Birds Island in 2021. Angry Birds Journey, and Rovio Classics Angry Birds in 2022. I hope you guys liked this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you guys in the next video.